Let's take a tour through the data science editor. The data science editor uses a block-based programming paradigm, much like the programming language Scratch. On the left, we have a command palette where we can choose different blocks. Let's start with this dataset block. The dataset block allows us to select built-in datasets, including a dataset about cereal and another dataset about the body measurements of penguins. Let's take a look at the cereal dataset by clicking on this icon of eyes. So we can see that there are multiple rows to this data set, and each row describes one individual cereal, while the columns describe an attribute of that cereal. If we come back to the command palette, we can choose the Organize tab and pick a block like Sort. If I click Sort onto the bottom of the dataset block, we can select one of the columns of the cereal table. So I'm going to select calories. And then when we click the eyes icon for this block, we can see the data set before this block, which is just the cereal data set as it started. And then we can see on the right that the cereal data set has been sorted in ascending order of the number of calories in a cereal. So we've got low calorie cereals first, and then the number of calories start to increase. I can toggle between ascending and descending order. So if I click on the eyes again, we can see that the most caloric cereals are at the top of the table, and then they start to descend as we scroll down. I can also select individual columns of this table. So let me connect the select block, and now I'm going to choose the manufacturer, the number of calories in the cereal, and the amount of sugar in the cereal. Let's take a look at that new table, and we can see it only has those three columns. Let's say I wanted to add a new column to this table. I can do that with one of these compute blocks. So for example, if I wanted to add a new column and call it more sugar, in which case I would take the sugars and multiply them by 10. And let's take a look at the resulting table. As you can see, there's a new column, and the number of sugars in each cereal has been multiplied by 10. I can also calculate statistics about these cereals. So if I grab the group block, I can attach it to the bottom, and I want to group the number of calories according to the manufacturer and calculate the mean. So on the right-hand side, we can see that for each manufacturer, it has calculated the average number of calories in every cereal for that manufacturer. We can also visualize data using the data science editor. So I'm going to use this penguins data set, which contains body measurements of penguins that were collected by scientists in a study. And let's visualize these values. So I'll come over to the charts palette, and we'll pull out the scatter plot block. So I want to make a scatter plot of the bill length of these penguins and the bill depth. And we can see that we get an interactive scatter plot here. I want the size of each of the dots to be based on the body mass of the penguins. And let's color these dots according to the species of the penguin. So as you can see, in just a few clicks, we can get really rich data visualizations that are interactive. We can mouse over and see these individual data points. and they can be exported into a presentation.